The Honourable Steve Whan.
Madam Deputy President, in question time today I asked the Minister representing the Treasurer about employment in the capital region. The fact is that on the figures from the ABS, employment in the capital region is now less than it was when this government came to office. There is 2,000 less jobs in the capital region than there was when this government came to office. There is actually in regional New South Wales overall 16,000 people less employed than there was when this government came to office, and that's despite the promises in the half-page regional development policy put out by this government that they would create 40,000 jobs. We see actually in the South East region a government which has dropped the ball. Even these figures are backed up by the small area labour market figures, which are released far less frequently, but which show us that in the last figures for December 2013, Queanbeyan's jobless rate over the previous year had risen, number of jobless had risen from 377 to 473. Palarang 139 to 177. The Snowy 111 to 136. Cooma 190 to 226. Bombala 35 to 45. All up, that's 205 more people in the Monero electorate who are unemployed now than were when this government came to office. And there's a few simple facts around this. The government can brag all it wants about a ComSet report which shows this economy in New South Wales now being dependent almost entirely on housing starts for its economic activity. We've got a government which has been condemned by the Minerals Council in the past couple of days for its failure to fix the planning system, and in fact making the planning system work. And that's what the Minerals Council is saying. But in the Canberra region it's a little different, because we of course see the impact there of the Abbott government. There is a sliding confidence in the Canberra region because of the freezing of jobs in the federal public sector, indeed the loss of jobs in many agencies. There is a lack of confidence or investment, and we're seeing a decline in housing prices for the first time in many years. The Canberra region in the Canberra ACT in the ComSet report slid markedly, and that is directly the result of Liberal and National Party policies which no one on that side of the House stands up against to condemn. We've seen from this government a regional development policy which is nothing more than a grab bag of slogans, useless and useless programs like the Regional Relocation Scheme, which this government has now introduced legislation to abolish. And now we've got a National Party which is in chaos. A new leader who last week tried to play tough guy in the lower house, but then he was threatened by the bigwigs, apparently, of the National Party with only being a 5-day leader if he didn't force Andrew Stoner to stand down from the ministry. Intimidated by such strong men as the Honourable Rick Collis, according to the Daily Telegraph, and George Souris. Well, let's face us, if tough guy Troy is intimidated by those two...
The Honourable Rick Collis on a point of order.
Madam Deputy President, this member is misleading the House something like to a degree that I can't believe. If he is to believe everything he reads in the Daily Telegraph, he is seriously deluded. I'd ask you to draw him.
Order. There's no point of order. The Honourable Steve Whan.
Thanks, Madam Deputy President. Of course, the Daily Telegraph, often lauded by those opposite for its commentary, and now I'm seriously deluded in reading the Daily Telegraph. But if we were to believe the Daily Telegraph, and to be fair, the Honourable Rick Collis, I didn't really think that he was able to put the heavies on the leader of the Nationals and force him to change his mind, but there it was reported. And if it is true, tough guy Troy is not so tough. He's just being taken for granted. And quite frankly, rural New South Wales, regional New South Wales has been taken for granted by these Nationals the whole time they've been in. They got in with a bunch of slogans about what they were going to do for regional New South Wales, but we've seen the constant decline of manufacturing industry. We've seen a failure to deliver the promised agricultural export industry plans. We've seen a falling behind of Victoria in employment, in food and food processing and manufacturing. And in the South East region, that very important region of New South Wales, we've seen a consistent decline in employment. It's a direct result of this government's failure to involve in economic development, and it's a failure of this government to actually take positive action on regional development. This is a government devoid of a regional development policy. Devoid of a regional development policy, a collection of slogans looking for a policy.